My 20 female brother, 26, got kicked out by our parents at 18 because he dropped out of high school and refused to work. Our parents gave him 3 days after his birthday to leave and told him not to contact them for money or to ask them to change their minds. He didn't contact us for 4 years, which is when he had my niece, and told our parents they'd never get to meet her. He kept his word, and to this day, our parents have never met their granddaughter. He had contact with me, though, and he'd pick me up to visit sometimes. But that stopped when I was 18, and I still said I supported what my parents did. He's married now, and he does welding or something along those lines, so getting kicked out was the best thing that could have happened to him. To this day, he's never said a word to our parents and has told my niece that they're dead. He refuses to attend any family gathering if they're there and never brings his family. Instead, he posts online about how parents who kick their kids out at 18 are terrible and how he'll never do the same. I had enough of him disrespecting the people who cared for him, so I went over there to visit and lost it with him. I said he deserved to get kicked out for being a lazy, freeloading brat, and his daughter wouldn't exist if he hadn't been. I accused him of hating our parents for being right more than he loves his daughter. He told me to get out and not come back, and said that I'm just like our parents. I don't think I was wrong, but my boyfriend said that maybe I was rubbing salt in the wound and making things worse for no reason. You are the idiot for telling your brother how to feel about his parents kicking him out when he was just a teen. 3 days is no time at all to find a job or anything. He could have been guided in a way that would have been more beneficial. In this day and age, needing to find a place to live at 18 is unreasonable. Many 25-year-olds today are still living at home because the economy is crap. Yeah, honestly, 3 days is just cruel. OP just brought into what their parents told them their entire life. OP thinks being kicked out was the best thing that happened to the brother. Seriously? What the heck? Good parents should try to get to the root cause of why their child is behaving like this. Kicking him out should be the last resort when everything else, including therapy, has failed. These people kicked their son out 3 days after his 18th birthday. They just didn't care. Honey, you were 12 when he got thrown out, but you called him a lazy, freeloading brat? I bet there's a lot you don't know either. And since then, your parents have been feeding you whatever BS they tell themselves to be able to sleep at night. Even if I believe everything you wrote about him, he deserved better, and you can't blame him for cutting contact with the people who threw him out. And you shouldn't be surprised when he cuts contact with the person who agrees with what happened. Your boyfriend is right. Also, it's the best thing that could have happened to him, and I reminded him his daughter wouldn't exist if they didn't kick him out. Screw all the way off, and then keep going. He's doing well now despite your parents, not because of them. Abusers love to see their victims who got away succeed because, in their minds, it validates every awful thing they ever did. OP is just a parrot, probably the type of person who shares every opinion with their parents and never disagrees. That's probably why she's still living at home versus getting kicked out at 18. I think more parents need to realize that this pressure we put on kids to decide the rest of their life at 17 and 18 is insane and unrealistic. I'm in my 40s and I'm on career 5 at this point, LOL. We need to coach them and help them into adulthood, not toss them on their butts and say good luck, then try to take credit when they turn out okay, in spite of that. So I, 31 male, am engaged to the love of my life, 33 female. We met in college and started dating 6 years ago. I proposed to her last year and we're getting married in 5 months. We've planned everything out by now and paid for many things. My fiance has never had a good relationship with her mother. Her mom was nasty to me and cut her off after she introduced us. She hasn't spoken to her mom in nearly 6 years until she learns from an aunt that her mom was in multi-organ failure from addiction. She wasn't eligible for any transplants, but couldn't leave the hospital. She's on a hospice care plan in the hospital. My fiance's been spending more time with her, and since she's heavily sedated, she's calmer and friendlier than usual. My fiance says she doesn't want to get married without her mom, and she saw some clips of hospital weddings online. She really wants us to get married inside her mom's hospital room. Her mom still will barely talk to me, and there's no way she'd be okay with the Hindu priest we've hired. Also, we were both excited about this wedding. My family's always treated her well, and Indian weddings are very traditional and important. My mom and her planned this whole wedding together, and my mom helped pay. And although she'd probably understand, I don't want to just cancel the wedding on her. And most of the things we purchased are non-refundable. I've told my fiance that I think it's a bad idea. Maybe we could have a ceremony in her room or something like that, but still have the wedding. But she says she doesn't want her mother to die before she's married, and she wants her mom to be there to make up for lost time. I feel like she's not thinking clearly because she's grieving right now, and she'll regret it later. Also, her mom said that if we don't get married in her room, my young daughter can't be there because she's half black. I just don't want to give up my whole wedding with my family for someone who wasn't even invited initially. I'm still willing to compromise, but I feel like an idiot for not just doing it since she's going through so much. So, am I the idiot here? Dude, thankfully, this is one of those problems where you can just procrastinate and it'll solve itself. You are not the idiot. After decades of addiction, the deadbeat, estranged mother is at the end of her life. She's now dictating how the wedding should be. Sadly, it sounds like the fiancé is in La La Land, pretending this is the caring, loving mom she never had and desperately wants some kind of final special memories. Ain't gonna happen. Someone still so awful and controlling while in hospice care will make this occasion and everyone around as miserable as possible. Ouch, man, that's some harsh words, but true. OP, your soon-to-be wife is clearly grieving, and your solution to have a small ceremony in the hospital room is completely appropriate, in addition to the big family ceremony. However, if your wife is okay with not allowing your daughter to be there, that's a whole other problem, a big one. I know she's trying to appease her mother, but she's doing so at the expense of your daughter. She's not thinking about how this one act will affect your daughter now and in the future. This is not okay. I really hope she's able to see clearly how wrong this is. It's not just your wife's wedding, it's yours also. Fiancé's desperate to have her dying mother love her and be proud of her. He needs to show her by doing this, she's doing to his daughter exactly what her mother's done to her whole life. She'll never forget her choosing a dying racist over her. I understand she's sad, and I can understand wanting to be by her side as she dies. Still, I'm so used to manipulative BS. I think this is her final evil act on earth, ruining her daughter's relationship. I, 35 female, have been married to Jim, 38 male, for 6 years. Jim and his family have hoarding issues, though no one's formally diagnosed. Jim and I made it work by dividing up our house. He has the entire spare room. I keep the kitchen, bedroom, living room free from storage totes and extra stuff, and we each have half of the basement. My half holds a pull-out couch, TV, and my yoga stuff, and his is full of stored items. Our system keeps us from arguing about particular items and keeps me from feeling overwhelmed since I do most of the housework. 2 weeks ago, Jim's brother Paul unexpectedly died. Me, Jim, and their sister Sarah, 29, went with the landlord to Paul's 2-bedroom apartment, which was packed. The landlord was understandably angry, but said that Paul had already paid the month's rent, so we had a month. He's already booked a company to throw away what's left on the 1st of next month. We all agreed he should keep Paul's security deposit for the cleaning and the trouble. We removed obvious trash, but Sarah stopped the cleanup and started loading random things into her car while talking about storing items in our basement and Paul's car in our garage. Jim told her that wasn't happening. She argued that we had tons of room. We couldn't possibly sort through everything in a month. She and her parents didn't have room for Paul's stuff, and they had to drive an hour each way to get to his apartment. In addition, they'd have to drive about the same amount to get to a local storage locker, which he also said they couldn't afford, and the facility shut at night when Sarah has the most time to come and sort things. I thought that was the end, but a few days later, Jim and I had Sarah and their parents over at our house. They walked through the whole house and came to the same conclusion Sarah did. We had plenty of room. I told them that I was sorry for their loss, but that I wouldn't hold on to Paul's things for some undetermined period or let them in and out whenever they wanted to sort stuff. I didn't say this to any of them, but everything they want to store is junk. None of us are rich. There's nothing of actual value in there, and we've collected Paul's paperwork and sentimental items like photographs and jewelry. Jim's family is understandably upset, and he did defend me to them, but no one can articulate a need to save anything beyond, "That's good stuff you're letting be thrown away." Still, I recognize how difficult this is for them, and I'm starting to feel like an idiot. Not the idiot. Keep your foot down. If you give them an inch, they'll turn it into a mile before you know it, and you'll never get your safe space back. Start planning an estate sale or a yard sale and see if you need permits in that jurisdiction. Offer to list the things on Facebook Marketplace for them, if that helps make better use of the junk. I'm sorry for the loss, but that doesn't mean you must climb all over his unnecessary crap. This is a good chance to remind them of how your possessions are mostly pointless, and holding on to stuff is meaningless when you certainly can't take any of this crap with you when you pass. And they'll never come and go through it. It'll just sit there forever. Nobody needs any of this stuff. They just don't like to let things go. A few years back, I helped my aunt and uncle clean out their mom's apartment. She had so many bedding sets, etc. My aunt and uncle, siblings, pushed me to keep things. "Your kids could use it. Can you use this? This is still in good shape." But truth be told, they didn't want it all either. I tried gently turning stuff down, but eventually it was easier to say, "Sure, throw it in my van." On the way home, I stopped at a thrift store and left it all there. They've never once asked to see any of it, and I never told them I had it. They really just needed to feel like the stuff wasn't gone. If that stuff ends up in OP's basement, that's where it'll live until someone else cleans out their place someday. I'm 22 male, an avid gym goer, and I recently got a 6-month-old dog named Iron. He has a bit of separation anxiety that we're going through, but I thought it'd be a good idea to take him to the gym. It's a larger public chain gym. I looked online for a dog policy and didn't see one. A few weeks ago, I showed up with Iron. The front desk attendant saw it and said nothing. The gym employees see him all the time, and I've even gotten positive feedback since I started bringing him. I've gotten to the point that he's reliable on voice commands. However, I guess it was the new environment, and he would go up to strangers. I quickly put him on a leash and kept Iron nearby. I brought Iron nearly every day, and his behavior improved. He would just sit there while I worked out. Working out with my puppy was special to me. I received a lot of positive feedback, and multiple gym goers told me my dog was cute, and it brought a smile to their face to see Iron. One day late last week, Iron got away from me and interrupted a stranger's workout. He was angry. I quickly apologized and kept him near me. Then a different random stranger comes up and tells me I should leave my darn dog at home and dogs don't belong in gyms. I get defensive but stayed calm. I tell him to find a new gym if he has a problem because most people here like my dog coming with me. The guy responds back with, "Leave your darn dog at home, idiot." He walked away and left the conversation after that. I was telling some friends about what happened and got mixed responses. Am I wrong for bringing my dog to the gym when it seems clear to me that Iron is welcome? Who's got the separation anxiety, you or the dog? Huh? You are the idiot. There's no stated dog policy because most people have the good sense not to bring a pet to the gym. Right? Puppy seems fine, leaving him to mess with strangers? The dude definitely named the dog Iron to bring him to the gym to be his workout buddy. Also, gyms probably don't have a policy about not filling up the free weight area with Jell-O. Still, OP here would see that as there's no policy against it, so I guess it's cool that I do that too. You bring your dog just because you can't find an explicit dog policy? Call and ask. Don't assume that if it isn't banned, that means it's allowed. It's a gym. People don't want to deal with dog hair and dander while trying to work out. It's even worse because you don't keep your dog leashed and let him wander around. I'm betting the gym's insurance doesn't have anything in place for accidents your dog may cause, or that may happen to your dog. I, 39 female, have 2 kids, a tween male and a pre-tween female. Our family dog died 5 months ago. His passing was a huge blow to my son. He's a timid boy who doesn't have many friends. Our dog was his best friend. We all grieved, but he was hit the hardest. He went to therapy to get to terms with it. My daughter was sad too, but she moved on very quickly. My daughter asked for a new dog a few weeks after Peanut's passed. Her father and I liked the idea, but my son was against it. He told us that a new dog would be a constant reminder of Peanut. He couldn't stand the idea, and he started developing disdain for his sister for always bringing it up. On the other hand, his sister told us she would be sad if we decided not to have a dog again. The famous rock and the hard place. In the end, we decided to buy her a pup for her birthday. I really hoped that my son would like the pup once he saw it, and maybe even become friends with her. I was wrong. He had a breakdown when we revealed the dog at her birthday party. He cursed and screamed, and then attempted to run out of the house. My mother-in-law took him to her house to calm down, but he refuses to return home while the puppy's still here. My in-laws are lashing out against my husband and me for favoring our daughter and putting her wishes over our son's mental health. Am I really the idiot here? Yes, it was for my daughter's happiness, but we really thought about our son too. It just didn't work out the way we wanted. You are the idiot. He's in a very emotional space right now. He's learning how to express his feelings in an adult way. He's learning how to convert emotions into words that others can understand. He's learning how to cope with a loss. He's processing his grievance, and most importantly, he had to seek therapy for it. And you invalidated every single one of his feelings and thoughts by getting a new dog so soon. You should have, at the very least, included him in the process of looking for, visiting, and adopting the new dog. You and your husband are the idiots. Your daughter wouldn't need therapy because she didn't get a new dog. Your son very well might. Not the idiot. I do not understand it at all. Pets die. Was the family never going to get another dog because the son loved a pet that died? Absolutely freaking out because another puppy exists seems super extreme. What does his therapist say about his trauma from a natural occurrence holding the rest of the family hostage? My family lost a dog and several cats throughout my childhood. We cried, we grieved, we memorialized them, we talked about them, still do, but then we moved on with life because pets are only with us for a good time, not a long time. So I'm grasping to understand your son's reaction. The kid is a tween. The dog has probably been there for literally all his life. This has likely been the first major loss in life. It takes time to grieve. Plus, the fact that kids around 8 years old just tend to want an animal anyway. OP could have gotten her a guinea pig or something. Then the son wouldn't have been belittled, and the daughter would still have a pet. The little daughter doesn't need a dog she can't even take care of. Agree. Your daughter didn't need a new puppy. She wanted one. And she could have had one eventually, once your son had time to grieve. But you don't even care enough about him to give him that. What a miserable, hateful example of preferential treatment you've shown here. Your poor son must feel so alone. I don't blame him for not wanting to be anywhere near you. Why would he, when you've shown him that he means nothing to you?